A welt is a little fold of fabric that you get along the edge of a pocket. So you quite often see it on a little waistcoat pocket or on jacket pockets. You can get a double fold where you have a fold from the top and a fold at the bottom that meet and kiss together. It makes like a little letterbox opening, and sometimes you have a false one that's just a fold, and sometimes you have one that has an actual pocket inside. You see a welt pocket feature on women's and men's clothes, but it tends to be more clothes that are more tailored and less casual, because it does take a long time to make, and it gives your clothes a long lasting feel that's not casual and throwaway. The one I'm going to make today is a welt pocket with a lining, an actual pocket and a buttonhole, and that's on the Narcisse trouser pattern by Deer and Doe. It's a French pattern. It's got quite a lot of tailored features, so it has a zip fly, darts, a waistband, and the welt pockets that I'm going to show you today. And it's also got some side panels that you can use to add stripes to the sides, or you can use a contrast fabric. The pattern is made up with inch measurements, so you need to measure yourself carefully because you can't use a UK women's size as a size guide. Other patterns where you might see a welt pocket are on a waistcoat, so you'll get this one's got a double welt, this one's got a single welt. So if you're a male sewer and you've made quite plain waistcoats, then to know how to make a welt pocket will just add a little formal edge to your waistcoat making. The fabric I'm using is a Robert Kaufman linen cotton mix. You do get a little bit of linen crease in it, but it's nice, just enough to show you're wearing linen, but not too much that it looks scruffy. It's a 55% linen, 45% cotton, and it comes in a whopping 36 or more, I think, different colours. This one's quite a strong one. This is called Palm, and as the light moves on it through the office window, you will get a few different variations in colour through my frames, because as the light changes, the colour green changes a little bit through the screen. It's suitable for shirts, trousers, skirts, dresses. It's got a little bit of drape, that's double, so let me show you it single. So it's got that lovely linen look, that texture, the different coloured weft and weave threads. The palm is quite a strong colour, but there are some very muted shades in those 36 choices, which make for a really good range of colours to make a capsule wardrobe, because you can make some garments that are from solid colours that will go with your patterned items. Before you start sewing, it's a really good idea to get very organised with the Narcisse trousers, because there's lots of components. There's the front and back pieces, there's the zip parts, so this is the zip shield and the zip. There are pieces of interfacing for the welt pockets, there's pocket welts, the insides of the pockets with facings, waistband pieces, there's the pockets, side pockets, and there are the strips that go down the side. So I've overlocked everything because I've got a linen and I'm going to be handling it and showing it you on the video, so I want to make sure it doesn't fray. On the right side of the fabric, we need to mark these pocket welt markings, and the easiest way to do that is with some dressmaker's carbon paper. You can see I've used this piece a lot, but I can still get a mark from it, and I'm going to put that underneath so that I've got the right side of the fabric, the sticky side of the carbon, and then the welt pocket, and then I'm going to draw, trace the welt pocket markings onto the fabric, and this means I can get a really accurate mark on my fabric. so I can see that on the right side. On the wrong side of my fabric, I've also marked the welt because I need to position a piece of interfacing, so I want to make sure that it covers the welt that I traced on the other side. I did just mark it with pins if you don't want to mark it on both sides, but then I know that that's going to be in the right place. The pocket's made up of two parts, so there's the pocket piece and then a pocket facing. Pocket facing is just a simple little rectangle, and I've pinned them on, and now I'm going to sew them with the seam allowance. Seam allowance is 1.5 or 5/8, so I marked it on with some chalk because I want all this to be super accurate. Sewn across and then pressed the seam allowance down. So to start constructing the welt pocket, you've got your folded welt with the fold side down. I've gone over my yellow carbon markings with the chalk so you can see it a little bit more. With the folded side down, I'm going to line up the top of the welt with the top line of the pocket. So the top line of my welt is following along this line, and there's an equal amount either side. So the pocket welt sits there, and I'm going to sew it with a 3/8 seam allowance, so that should take me into that center part there. I'm going to pin that and sew that first one. Okay, I've got the flat pointing down. I've sewn 3/8 from the top. I've left 3/8 in unsewn at the side, and then this is going to flap up. Okay, the next bit's tricky to understand from the instructions. So with the wrong side of the pocket facing you, I'm going to line up the top of the pocket facing with the stitch line I made on the welt. So you've got the welt sticking out the bottom and then the pocket facing on top, and I'm going to sew on this top line of the welt marking, and I don't want any bits sticking out because I've got to not trap any of this welt seam allowance in this new seam. So the top of the facing lines up with the stitch line, and I'm going to sew along this top line here so that it will fold down like this. You're going to be really brave with the next stage, which is if you open those two seams that you've made, you will see the dotted line. That is the center of the welt, and you're going to cut along that dotted line, and you're going to try and get to right into the corners. Some really, you don't want to be doing blunt scissors here. These little Janome hand scissors are absolutely perfect for the job. And I'm going to go right to that V shape in that corner and to that V shape in that corner. That includes going into the corners of that V shape as well, so your snip isn't just a straight line and into the corners. And then it's time to turn it out. give that a press, and we can move on to the next stage. I've added a button to the right side using the marking off the pattern piece, and now I'm going to secure all of this work that we've done. So I'm looking under the pocket, under the welt, and I should have that little triangle of fabric that I snipped out, and I want to attach the welt and the triangle along here. I'm actually going to hand sew it, and you can see because I'm working with linen I'm getting a little bit of fray, so I'm going to put a little bit of fray stop just on that triangle here when I've sewn it, so that it doesn't go any further. So there we are, I've got a little triangle attached to just the welt, a little bit of fray stop on there, so I'll just wait for that to dry. Nearly there, so we're going to add the pocket lining, and this is I'm using a different colour so that you can see a bit more which piece I'm talking about. This is a pocket piece without a facing attached to it, so it's the same as this one but without the facing, and that's going to go right side down, and we're going to sew along here. It's a bit tricky to see where to sew, so I'm just going to use a couple of quilting clips just to hold that pocket piece out of the way. And what I need to do is have this pocket piece right side down, and I'm going to sew on that welt stitch line that we had before. And match up the rest of the pocket. Okay, pocket lining's attached, and then you press it down. So you should have meeting in the middle there your pocket piece with the lining, pocket facing, sorry, and then the lining underneath. And then you mark where you need your buttonhole. I'm going to make a buttonhole through the lining and through the trouser as well. I've just clipped everything together out of the way because when I'm making that buttonhole under the machine, I don't want to stress those corners that I hand sewed and have that pocket piece flapping around. So I'm going to make this buttonhole here. Right, well, you've done all the complicated bit. It's just a case of attaching the two pieces of pocket together now. So you're going to attach the lining to the pocket, and you're going to be very careful how you sew here because this is where you're going to gather all of those pieces together. The welt, the pocket facing, everything in those are quite thick there, and then it will go round to the pocket. Ta-da! There it is. Got the welt along the bottom, got the facing inside, the button goes through the lining and the back of the trouser. It's a really generous pocket in this pattern. And then on the reverse, you'll see all the pockets enclosed. We've got the lining on the back, the pocket here, and the piece of interfacing that you use to cut the welt. Happy with that? Right, I'm going to go make one on the other side. Okay, I just wanted to show you the trousers finished. So they've got inseam pockets, the zip fly, which is in another tutorial, and then here are the welt pockets at the back. So they've got the button and the lining on the inside, and the welts at the bottom, and they really do make a very smart pair of trousers. The trousers have got a seam down the side, a side panel, which you could make in a contrast fabric, or you could add ribbon or some sort of decoration down the side. It does mean that these trousers are very right for good fitting, because you've got 2 darts at the front, you've got 2 darts at the back, you've got all of these side seams here with the side panels. So although they're an experienced make, if you've been trying to make elasticated trousers and then you want something more tailored, then this is a really good pattern for a long-lasting pair of trousers. I'm going to take a photo of these so that you can see the full length. Thanks for watching. I hope that you get to make a welt pocket on a garment and that you find today's information really useful. Don't forget to post your make if you've made something with welt pockets, or anything in fact. We'd love for you to make a profile and join us on the sewing community at Minerva.